In the beginning, there was no soccer in Ivory Coast. The country, which gained independence from France in 1960, had no established football culture. But that didn't stop the Ivorians. They saw the potential in the sport and they embraced it with open arms. In the early 1970s, the Ivorian government began investing heavily in sports infrastructure. Soccer fields sprouted up across the country and a national league was formed. By the mid-70s, Ivory Coast had its first professional soccer team, ASEC Mimosas, who quickly became a dominant force in West African soccer. The 1980s brought a new era for Ivory Coast soccer. The national team, known as the Elephants, qualified for their first Africa Cup of Nations in 1984 and made it to the semi-finals. This achievement marked the country's arrival on the continental stage. The turn of the millennium saw Ivory Coast reaching new heights. In 2006, the Elephants qualified for their first FIFA World Cup. Although they didn't make it past the group stage, their performance was praised worldwide. This was a testament to the country's growing prowess in the sport. The golden era of Ivorian soccer came in the late 2000s and the early 2010s. With an array of stars like Didier Drogba, Yaya Toure and Gervinho, the Elephants became a force to reckon with. They won the Africa Cup of Nations in 2015, a crowning achievement for Ivorian soccer. Fast forward to today and the love for soccer in Ivory Coast is as strong as ever. The country continues to produce top-tier talent, with players plying their trade in some of the best clubs around the world. The story of soccer in Ivory Coast is one of passion, dedication, and resilience. From a country with no soccer culture, Ivory Coast has risen to become one of Africa's soccer powerhouses. They embraced the sport, invested in it, and reaped the rewards. To recap, we've seen how soccer in Ivory Coast has evolved over the decades. From the formation of their first professional team in the 70s to their debut in the World Cup in 2006, and their triumph in the Africa Cup of Nations in 2015, Ivory Coast has had a remarkable journey in the world of soccer. This is the magic of soccer, a sport that transcends borders and cultures, uniting people in their love for the beautiful game. And in Ivory Coast, this love is very much alive and kicking.